Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rebels Grand National Series here on Rebel Racing Network. Tonight, playoff race number 1 at Darlington Raceway as we take on 6 drivers that we got ready to fight it out for a championship. It's all starting here in Darlington. Welcome to Rebel Racing Network. I'm Eddie Smith, and in the booth we got Chuck Pegleg Felts calling the action tonight. Chuck, man, how you feeling tonight?
Doing well. Once again, thanks for having me again. Hello, everybody.
Well, Chuck, Darlington Raceway, one of the best tracks in the whole world, and especially on the NASCAR circuit. And talk a little bit about Darlington. How you feel about Darlington? It's one of the oldest tracks, one of the most legendary, probably the most legendary finish in NASCAR history between Kurt Busch and Ricky Craven happened here. Man, talk about this racetrack. How you feel about it? What are these drivers going to be dealing with tonight?
Well, you're right. It's a Lady in Black, and it's one of the most known tracks, real world and on the sim, and one of the most difficult. I mean, there were real world drivers who went their whole careers who never even cracked the top 5 here. It's fast, it's narrow. It's even with the relatively cold temperatures tonight. It's a tough track, and honestly, I know it's tough to not. I know it's tough to want to worry about your fellow playoff drivers. I think the drivers, especially the playoff drivers, they need to tackle the track first and not even worry about where everybody else is. Because if you start worrying about everybody else, you're going to miss your marks. It's a very finicky track. And I think that's got to be priority number 1 is race the track. Don't worry about anybody else and let it fall into place.
Yeah, and you got to avoid that legendary Darlington stripe as the Lady in Black will come out and slap you off at turn 2 and 4. So keeping the car clean, race the track. I think those are all good, really good points here tonight as we get ready to jump right into it. Chuck, we've got qualifying starting to get rolling here. We got 5 minutes, and let's go see if we can catch some folks out on track. Want to watch as Daniel Cunningham is out on track to put his lap down as we watch on board with him as he tries to get out to the front and start on the pole. That's a great place to start, Chuck, if you're going to start out front. That's a Darlington. Out front's where you're going to want to be.
Yeah, I agree with that because it's so tough to pass here anyway. It's just you pretty much are going to have to drive it in deep, but you don't want to drive it in too deep and wreck yourself and or your fellow competitors. So track position's key here. So the better you can start. I mean, it's key at most places, but you got a little wiggle room on the bigger, wider tracks to make your way through the field. Not so here at Darlington.
Yeah, Daniel Cunningham goes second on the board as he comes around to make his second lap. And, yeah, Chuck, let's talk a little bit about these playoff drivers as we kind of go through the list here of Daniel Cunningham, Steve McDonald, Travis Bieber, Bubba Wallace, and Chris Reese. And Kieran Church looks like he's going to make the show. We thought he might not make it, but here he is showing up. So talk a little bit about this playoff field. Who do you think? Who you got going into the final 3, and then who you got maybe taking home the championship?
Well, it's so strong. I was telling you a little pre-race that it's stats are pretty even across the board. I think Travis Bieber has a 2-point lead amongst everybody else. And then I looked at their average starts, average finish. They were all right there, maybe within 3 spots, other than possibly I think Chris Reese had a higher starting position, but that may be by design. I don't know if he had some rough qualifying or if he did that on purpose throughout the season. But overall, it's a tight field. It's going to be hard to pick a favorite. I do like Travis Beaver. His consistency, of course, they all wouldn't be consistent or they wouldn't be here. Uh, and at least as far as tonight go, I might have to go with Bubba Wallace, Brandon Bubba Wallace.
Wow.
Possibly for tonight. I was watching his practice, and he was very smooth on both ends of the track. Wasn't overdriving the car. Wasn't top of the board as far as times, but was consistent. He was smooth on both ends of the track on corner entry, and that could be something in the long run. Just taking care of your car, like we already said. So he's kind of my pick for tonight. Um, it's a little early for me to honestly pick who's going to make it to the Final Four. To be completely fair.
Well, I got to know how much you paid or how much Brandon Wallace paid you to say that, but it must have been a good amount because you laying it on pretty thick there, Chuck. But I don't know. This field has been really competitive. I'm waiting on Daniel Cunningham to come out and just really start laying down some wins and really put himself in that final three. And I think we said final four, but I think it's going to be final three for the championship. So I'm looking for Daniel Cunningham to sort of step up. I think he's just kind of been riding around in the top five all season long, and then I'm waiting for him to get on a hot streak and really take it to him. But Travis Bieber's been really strong all year long, and I expect that to continue. So, it's really kind of a toss-up. I mean, that's why they're playoff drivers. So you're absolutely right. It's going to be tough to see what they're going to do here. Is qualifying just now getting over. It looks like we got just a few people making times here with about 15 seconds. Currently, Daniel Cunningham is on the pole. And it is Final Four for Grand National. They told me in chat. So, but qualifying just about wrapping up. I don't see anybody else on track. Oh, Kieran Church is on track, but I don't think he's gonna make it, and he does not. So, Chuck, we got to give out an award, and dadgummit if it ain't the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award, and that's gonna go to Daniel Cunningham, who takes over the top spot. Let's go through the grid. I'll take the top 10, and you take the next 10 if you want to, Chuck.
Sounds fun.
All right, Daniel Cunningham is your Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner, and we'll get into the Jeff Bott Junior Art starting grid. Outside front row, another playoff driver in Stephen McDonald. Starting in third and fourth, two playoff drivers, Travis Bieber and Brandon Wallace. Starting row number 3 is Tyler Rice and Matt Knights. Row number 4 is Kyle Roberts and Gavin Otarski. Starting 9th, Ty Cunningham, and starting 10th is Michael Kostick.
All right, going on further through the field, P11, we have Garrett Kinder, and P12 is Kieran Church. He did not get a qualifying time, ran out. P13, Brett Bieber. P14, Brandon Pollock. And P15 is Chris Reese. P16 is Andy Kurtz. P17, Mr. Todd Schott. P18, Jonah. And rounding out the field in P19, we have Jimmy Cofield.
And that is your Jeff Bott Junior Art starting grid as they are getting rolling now. And, you've got a tough ask on you tonight, Chuck, is you've got to give out the best paint of the night from Jeff Bott Junior Art. And so you're going to have a tough one tonight. It's throwback night here at Darlington, and we've got a lot of really awesome throwback schemes. We'll highlight them throughout the race, but you can already see quite a few of them. Chuck, you're going to have a tough time picking one at the end of this thing.
Well, I'm only going to be looking at 3 or 4 sides of the car, top, front, and left side and rear. I'm certainly not going to be looking at any of the right sides. I have a feeling everybody's going to look the same with the Darlington stripes, so can't be looking at the right side of their car.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, all right, coming through 3 and 4, we got a lot of folks single file on the bottom. You talked about racing the track earlier. And that's kind of what we're expecting here as the pace car pulls off. And throwback night here at Darlington Raceway is waiting on the field. And Barney has the flag in hand, and he is waving it. Green flag here at Darlington. 75 laps of just brains smacking action. I don't even know what that means, Chuck. But it's going to happen. I feel it. But so far, so good through turns 1 and 2. Oh, my goodness, in the 35, Kyle Roberts. Kyle Roberts goes down to the inside. We are still under green as he's able to keep it going. but already trouble for Kyle Roberts as he goes down and hits the inside wall. But we stay green here as Travis Bieber already up to the back bumper of that 14 machine, and he's able to hang on to it. My goodness. We'll go back in a minute and we'll take a gander at what happened.
Yeah, it seems the guys coming off of two. I don't know if it looks like they're getting loose, not having the tire pressures built up yet.
Yeah, let's go back and look at it on the Rebels picture-in-picture here and see what happened. We're all looking at Kyle Roberts here in the 35 as we watch the lead. Comes off the corner, he's going to grab a little bit of apron, but it gets some help from the 36. And I believe that's Gavin Otarski, gives him a little bit of help. So got maybe a little bit of the apron slowed up a little bit, and then he goes around. So tough way to start for Kyle Roberts. He's got damage, and he had to come down pit road, get that fast repair early. You don't want to be using it that early.
Yeah, Kyle just might want to ride for a little bit. The 24 car just got loose coming off. He saved it, though.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Stephen McDonald. We'll see what it takes to get around this place, as it is such a fun track, a very interesting way you run this. You drive deep down in the corner, go up to the wall. You see Stephen kind of taking it easy and not really being aggressive with that wall just yet, but as the tires start to wear out, they're going to have to get right up against the wall, and all it takes is one little slip or mistake, and you're in trouble. But you see Steve McDonald trying to defend that position as he kind of runs a lower line there. So already getting a little racy up here at front. Trying to hold off Brandon Wallace.
And I feel it's kind of a small window between the tires warming up and then starting to have significant wear on them. So there's really a small window on when you have that prime grip level, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely is really, really loose early on, and once you get that grip level, get the tires up to temp, like you said, it starts to really come in nicely. This track is just so weird because it's so hard to be consistent. You want to be consistent every lap, but it's so hard to do that with how this track is laid out. The turn's completely different. You drive deep into the turn one, go up to the wall, get back on the gas pretty soon, and really drive, straight down off the corner to get the best run. And in 3 and 4, it's a lot slower. You have to really take it easy to not get into the wall. And so you'll see all kinds of different lines as we got a battle for the lead starting to brew up here as Travis Bieber has gotten to the back bumper of the 14, starting to hunt him down just a little bit. So I've got my eye on quite a few people. I'm looking at Andy Kurtz. I'm watching for Michael Cossack, Chris Reese, Garrett Kinder, some guys that started in the back. Of course, Kieran and Church to see if they can make it through the field. Jonah Colbert as well. A lot of guys in the back that I'm expecting to see move up through the field as Kyle Roberts has retired from this race already. That's pretty early, Chuck. He was a few laps down, maybe felt like he wasn't going to get it back and went ahead and called it quits. A little bit early. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. And that could have been, some frustration and also not be part of the playoffs, don't want to be a hazard out there or get in anybody's way. He possibly forgot to check his fast repair and had to wait on some damage to get fixed. So not really knowing why he retired, but any of those are probably viable reasons why he called it a night.
Well, man, watching this battle between Steve McDonald and Bubba Wallace, and man, these guys are racing their guts out. Brandon had the position and then dove down into turn 3. I think he forgot where he was. I'm not real sure, but drove way down on the apron and just had to lift way too hard. And, actually, it wasn't 1 and 2. I forgot where I was. And Brandon missed the corner completely, and McDonald able to get it back. So these guys are racing their guts out already. I love to see it. Right behind him, though, Gavin Otarski starting to run them down a little bit while they battle side by side.
Well, back around the ninth position, they were getting pretty racy as well. That's Chris Reese and Kurtz, and I believe that's Pollock in the 24.
Yeah, we saw Pollock get a little bit of loose earlier, may have gotten a little bit of the wall, but seems to be pointing in the right direction. This is one of those tracks that I think Pollock does really good at. I think if the problem with Pollock and something that I've always said is that he just is so drives just with his elbows up for so long during the race that he's going to get into the wall. And as soon as I say that, he does exactly that. He just drives so hard every lap. And here at Darlington, man, it really punishes you, and it does exactly that as we're watching. The 24 gets into the wall, so Brandon Pollock going to lose that spot, and he's going to lose it to Jonah Colbert, who is just Jonah tonight, as he's missing his last name. But pretty interesting paint scheme. I like that. What do you say, Chuck?
Yeah, I do like that one.
Little Meineke
Um,
scheme.
yeah, that's old school. That's definitely a throwback there.
So throwback schemes all night tonight, so we'll be highlighting as many as we can. As we just saw, Garrett Kendrick gets in the wall, gonna open up the door for Michael Kostick to go to the inside.
Oh,
Oh my
tried to
goodness,
crossover.
crossover, and they get a little bit of the
He
wall there
brought it
too.
back.
Yeah, man, let's go. I love to see this as we've got
And
battles going
then
on all over.
Kurtz is trying another crossover now, but don't think he's going to quite get it.
Yeah, up front for third place, man, Gavin Otarski has gotten around Brandon Wallace. Now he's fighting to get around the 68. He's going to door slam the 68 into the wall. Steve McDonald not going to be happy about that. But, hey, that's one way of getting it done there, Chuck.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, you'd like to be a fly on the wall in McDonald's team chat.
yeah. Well, everybody really pushing the limit to these cars, trying to get the positions they can. They can see these drivers running their way through the field. And, man, look at this right here. That is unreal. As we go on board with Andy Kurtz and see what it looks like out there. Oh, my goodness. Brandon Wallace going to get in the wall again.
I think he might have had a little bit of help.
Got a little bit of help, huh? Bubba Wallace getting kind of used up maybe a little bit, but it seems to be what a lot of folks are doing. We'll go back and check that out here in the bottom right of your screen. As he goes down in the corner, you see he's got Michael Costa to the inside. Oh, no, he actually gets in the wall in the 13 with nowhere to go. Oh, and Brandon Wallace goes around. And caution is out on the speedway as Brandon Wallace gets turned, it looked like.
From my view, and I'm not saying it was the camera angle I had, I think he just lost it. I don't think he got help now. Pollock might have taken some air off his rear end, especially with it being banged up. That might have something to do with the handling on exit.
Well, we got to give the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind some play tonight. So let's go and see it. The replay doesn't lie. Let's go back and see what happened there between those two drivers. Looking on board with Brandon Pollock driving deep into the corner, and a little bit of net code, and the 99 is going to get sideways. Able to save it, though, Chuck. What an amazing save, man.
Yeah, on both of them. There for a minute, I thought Pollock was going to hit the inside wall, so they both had some nice saves there.
Yeah, I mean, just a little net code. It was close, but both drivers did a great job, like you said, of, man, keeping that thing going straight. So he was able to get that done.
If you go back and look at his steering wheel input real quick, what saved Brandon, I mean Bubba, in my opinion, is he didn't try and overcorrect it. He kept the wheel cranked to the left. If he'd have tried to turn it back to the right, it probably would have gripped up and overcorrected.
Yeah.
See how he keeps it to the left?
Yeah, he just let Jesus. He let Jesus take the wheel, and that was it, man. So
if he'd have tried to turn it back to the right, once it got grip, I feel it would have shot him back up the track.
Right. Well, good close call. Way to hang on to it, Brandon. But that brings out the first caution, and you look, pit road is wide open. We got cars all over pit road as everybody coming down and getting 4 tires and fuel. Tell me about the pit strategy tonight. Do you know how many tire sets and stuff they got?
Tire set is three total.
So,
So they've got, if they took tires now, they've only got one set left.
oh wow.
Uh, it says tire set limit in the race is three. So they started with one and they had two behind the wall. So if they took some now, um, they got one set left. Me personally, I would definitely take a set, especially for the backyard. You're going to need that grip. You're going to need those fresh tires to get back up through the field at this track for sure.
Yeah, because Darlington's really bad about going long green flag runs. So staying out here trying to save a set of tires, I think it's probably a bad idea. Because you could find yourself in a world of hurt if you didn't come down pit road here. So you got to come down and take those tires. If we get a quick caution, I would imagine somebody would stay out. But man, we still got to go 55 laps. So splitting that up, you're looking at about 27, 28 laps on these tires. So they're gonna have to go a little bit further before they put that last set on. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a fool's errand to come try to save a set tonight. As Darlington, I'm surprised that caution came out. They usually don't, and so uh, you know, it's one of those things where you just never know how the race is going to play out. And if you save a set, you get lucky. But Darlington's such a tough track to pass. Even if you got fresh tires and you have to start in the back, you're not going to be able to get your way through the pack that easily. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You, especially in the back. I mean, I agree with you. I think everybody should have taken tires, in my opinion, but especially the guys in the back because they may have to drive it deep or try and clip that apron and make those passes, and you're going to need the grip to be able to do so.
Right. Well, it looks like everybody did just that. I don't see any deviation from that plan. So everybody comes down, takes 4 tires and fuel. So one set of tires remaining. Two, the ones that they just put on, and then the set that they still have in pit. So, yeah, gonna have to take care of those tires, Chuck. No more sliding. No more getting loose off the corner. Gonna have to take care of those things.
And I'm curious. I know on that what brought that caution. It did look like some net code, but I'm wondering how, with Pollock being so close, if that just didn't affect. He was right about the apex when he got loose, and I'm wondering with that banged up rear end if that affected the rotation of the car in the apex there.
Yeah, it looks like he got in really, really hot, maybe a little bit too fast, especially to make a move on the bottom. And he was going to catch it, but Netcode decided he was gonna get to the back of him. So, I think it's hard to say. But pace car pulling off as we get ready to go back green here on the
You know
Rebel
what they
Racing Network.
say?
Daniel Cunningham with the lead. Travis Bieber on the outside. Those two kind of stepped away that first run. Let's see if they can do it again. They got drivers that have moved their way through the field, so that it's going to get harder and harder to keep that front position. Green flag is out. Both drivers able to get away. As you see Michael Kosick and Andy Kurtz side by side for 4th and 5th. And then we've got drivers on the move, Chuck. What we got here, Andy Kurtz, Jonah Colbert, both tied for the – we got a battle for the lead, though. Is here comes Travis Bieber to the inside of Daniel Cunningham. Playoff drivers racing it out early. Bieber goes down to the inside, able to hang on, take that spot right immediately, and takes over the lead. Gavin Otarski's going to have a run now, but Andy Kurtz, Jonah Colbert, 11 spots they've gained since the drop of the green flag. So I think Travis Bieber knows what he's got to do, which is get out front quickly as these guys are coming.
Definitely, and I know he'd like to see uh, somebody else come up and challenge, which it looks like he is, the 36 coming up to challenge 14, which is what Bieber wants to do. He get that breakaway.
Right. Yeah, Gavin Otarski has really been impressive here early in this race as he's slowly but surely picking these guys off as we're on board with Jonah Colbert trying to get a run here on Chris Reese. Going to do it. A little nervous there off of 2, but able to hang on to it and get the run down to the inside. And you see Gavin Otarski up there going to the inside of the 14 along with Andy Kurtz. So we're almost 2 by 2 by 2. It's, what is this, Talladega? Oh, it looks like somebody gets in the wall. Gavin Otarski gets in the wall. Everybody's checking up here as I'm trying to find my camera so I can spread it out so we can see. But Gavin gets into the wall. Scary moment. And that checks up everybody behind him.
They could
Oh, my
almost put a
goodness.
blanket over 5 cars a little further back.
Yeah, here comes Kieran Church, man. 4 wins on the season, and he has come all the way from the back. Didn't even put down a qualifying time, and he's on the move. That's a playoff driver looking to get a win here. But right now it's Travis Bieber out to half a second. Garrett Kinder looking to the inside of Michael Kostick here with Jonah Colbert looking on from right behind him. Racing been good so far, Chuck.
It's
Are you
been very
surprised by?
exciting.
Yeah, are you surprised how aggressive people are being so early?
I actually was. I was going to mention that earlier, and then I forgot to. I am surprised of the aggressiveness. I mean, almost from the drop of the green, the initial green, you would have thought we were racing with only 10 to go or 5 to go all night.
Yeah. Well, these cars, these Xfinity cars, are just so much fun. And this track, so when you put a caution's out, got a caution out. Looks like maybe Brandon Pollock. 24. Oh, man, yeah, a ton of damage to that 24 machine. So Brandon Pollock having more trouble here. It was involved in that first incident. Now brings out the second caution of the night. Let's go back and see what happened to Brandon here on the Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Comes off the corner. Gets a little bit loose maybe there in the corner. Oh, it just smacks the wall off of turn 2 and right down to the inside. Wow. Major hit there for the 24. Man, that is a tough hit. We'll go on board and kind of see what he was seeing. Trying to get that run off the corner. He's just kind of missed. You see he's got the steering wheel turn, but that car, the front end just sliding, and boom.
Yeah, once it ping pongs you back across the track, that he was lucky the first time where he saved it off that inside, but there was no saving at that time off that inside. He'll definitely need a fast repair. You see his tachometer there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's such a tough track for that very reason. You have to work that throttle, and as you're just carrying so much speed in the corner that once you're committed on exit, you see there's nothing he could do. You say, well, why don't you just turn left, or why don't you just slow down? Once you get into the corner like that, you cannot decommit from. I mean, this isn't college football. You know what I'm saying? You can't decommit from these corners. As you're going through it, you got to give the throttle to keep the center rolling. And now he did that, just wasn't getting the bite from middle exit, and he couldn't get that car pointed down, just carrying a little bit too much speed. And as it gets to the exit, it just points right at the wall. And so that's that Darlington stripe they always talk about there, Chuck.
Right, that's kind of brings it back to one of the first comments I made tonight. I know people want to make passes, and I know they're in a hurry to get through the field, but first priority's got to be on the race this track. It's such a finicky track. You got to finesse. There's some, different geometry at either end, with the different circumference of the corners and throttle points or brake points. It just, there's enough to worry about just being by yourself on track, that's got to be priority. Race the track first.
Right. No, 100%. 100%. Well, under our second caution of the night, I don't know if we had some takers. I don't see anybody coming down pit road for any kind of tires. It's hard to say if anybody took their last set of tires. I would imagine that would be a major mistake. Most people coming down pit road to get damage fixed, maybe a fast repair. We've got quite a few fast repairs already used. Gavin Otarski, Garrett Kinder has already used their fast repair on that first pit stop, and Ty Cunningham as well has used their fast repair. So some guys elected to save it, but some maybe getting some damage that they thought was going to be a pretty big hindrance. So really early to be using those fast repairs.
Again, especially at this track. I mean, you never really want to waste one, no matter where you're at. But certainly, the track that's too tough to tame, you want to hold on to that baby as long as you can.
Yes, sir. We'll go back and look at that, Rick, one more time and watch from Brandon Pollock's. We'll slow it down, and you can kind of see here. You see that little adjustment with the steering wheel. When he did that, he missed the corner, and you can see he's got that steering wheel turned all the way to the left as much as you can. That thing just will not turn. Think about, you know, pushing a plastic little thing when you had when you was a kid, and you turn that wheel all the way, and the front tires just go straight forward. They don't actually do any kind of turning. That's what was happening there, and
So explain your technical term. What is plastic little thing, Mr. Smith?
so
Is
I
that,
think
are you
about
talking about
the
your big wheel, your Hot Wheels? What is, I'm old school. I mean, I didn't have many toys when I grew up because I think I played with the old tire and a stick. But and what
well,
is a plastic little thing in regards to toys?
well, growing up, we used to have these Bigfoot electric cars. You have to plug them in. They'd have a battery. As they're going green here, Travis Bieber has the lead. But they'd have a little battery, but they'd have these plastic wheels. You sit in it and just go around at just the slowest speeds. But you try to turn on those front wheels, being as plastic as they were, it would just not turn. It would just sit there, and you'd be trying to turn that thing, about to run into a pole, and not able to get it done. So.
All right, thanks for that info. I mean, like I said, I was a poor guy. I had a stick and a tire to play with.
Well, usually I say things and nobody asks me to explain it, so I usually don't have to come up with a. Sometimes I just make stuff up. Watching Kieran Church as he goes down to the inside. This is a battle for 8th place as Kieran, working his way through the field, looks down to the inside of Michael Kostick. Kostick is a beast here at this track, so I think a lot of guys taking advantage of him early as he's saving tires. As man, we've got a long way to go on these sets of tires, so you got to take care of them. We'll see who's able to do that. Up front, though, it is Travis Bieber going ham here tonight. As Gavin Otarski in the wall again. Garrett Kinder's going to look to the inside in that 13 machine. It takes that spot. So Garrett Kinder up to 5th.
You made a good point there, Eddie, with only having one set behind the wall now. I would not be surprised if Kostek might just be kind of babying this current set.
Well, I mean, he's good at it. I can tell you.
Yeah, absolutely, he
Yeah.
is. He's one of the better ones in the league as far as that part of the racecraft. I mean, he's a great driver anyway, but that's another part of his racecraft that he seems to always be pretty accomplished at.
Yeah, he just doesn't get rattled. A lot of people get their ego hurt whenever they start getting passed or have trouble just letting somebody go. But Kosick just doesn't ever get up to that point. He's willing to just kind of give people plenty of room. Super clean racer, and that always makes makes him get to the end for sure. But we got a battle for the lead, and Andy Kurtz has taken over the top spot from Travis Bieber, who is still right behind him. So we were talking about Kosick. We missed the pass for the lead, but we'll go back and check it out. We're not going to miss it. We're going to go back and watch it here in just a second. If I can get there, let's go back and watch it on the picture-in-picture. And he gets the run off of turn number 4. It goes down the corner and just takes it. So that's how it was done. Now he's starting to set sail. Man, he has made his way through the field. He has gained 15 spots from the drop of the green flag there, Chuck, and he is now starting to step away from the field. That's another driver that I think is just unbelievable at Darlington, and he's showing why right now.
Yeah, that's some good disciplined driving too. Because although he made all those positions up, it's tough here. You still got to hit your marks everywhere on this track. You got to hit your marks and not overdrive it, or for that matter, underdrive it. Like, don't be too intimidated of the track either. Get run over from behind or whatever. He's made some good moves all night.
Yeah, he's really good at setting up passes here. This track is tricky. A lot of people want to make passes into the corner, but you've got to set up the driver a corner before you're going to make the move. You got to get the run off the corner, get the position on them down the straightaway, and then clear them as you're entering the corner. And that's exactly what he did to take the lead from Travis Bieber. And that's the ticket here. You've got to make efficient use of your run, and you don't want to get You don't have too many times where you're side by side on exit of the corner. You just have to give up so much time from everybody if you do it that way. So making passes at the right time, timing those runs, that's super, super important to get through the field. And Andy showing a masterclass of it tonight as he was able to make up 15 spots just rolling. But we got battles going on all over the track. Kieran Church, Chris Reese, this is a battle for 5th place. Kieran trying to run him down. Gets right up to the back bumper, going to look down to the inside of the 62. 62 going to fight.
We got Tyler Rice in the wall. It looks like we're still green. He came off the wall. It hit the inside wall, banged into. I didn't catch the number, but it looks like we're still green.
Yeah, one of those deals where Darlington just doesn't throw the caution flag. It's just such a weird track for that. But that happens quite a bit here. Let's go and look on the side-by-side what happened to Tyler Rice. See him coming down pit road. He's coming off the corner. It looks like same thing that happened to Brandon Pollock. Just gets a little bit tight, and then you can see something broke on that 6 machine. Oh, Jonah gets a hit as he's wrecking down to the inside. So tough deal there for Tyler Rice. You see him coming down on pit road. But we stay green.
Well, it's the speed you're carrying. It's not so much that the initial hit on the outside wall is that devastating damage-wise, but the way it just pinballs you, ricochets you off of it is then what causes the mayhem.
Yeah.
Either you get into somebody or you get into the inside wall. Again, not that the initial impact on the outside wall is necessarily a race ending, but it's the aftermath of how you come off that wall.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we saw Brandon Pollock do exactly that, just ricochet off the wall. That time was a little bit different. I mean, I was watching it, and he hits the wall so hard and actually, keeps going, but all of a sudden you can see the car kind of tracking to the right a little bit as we watch Gavin Otarski get in the wall again. But yeah, I mean, it looked like it broke something really important on the suspension of the 6 car, as he was real messed up once he hit that initial time.
Well, that last update, now I don't know if it was across the board or if it was just the next gen, but I know the damage model for the next gen definitely was changed. So you so much as look at the wall wrong and you got damage, but I don't know if that went across the board in all the cars. I don't know if you can add anything to that, if you have any knowledge on that or not.
Yeah, the next gen car seems pretty sturdy as it is in real life, but the iRacing damage model is, Garrett Kendrick gets really close to clobbering the wall. He was able to get out of it and save that 13 machine. He's got Chris Reese all over the back bumper. But yeah, it just depends on the car, in my opinion. The truck is one of the worst offenders at the damage model, and I think it might have gotten improved as well in the last few updates. But the truck used to be where you would hit it, you hit the wall on the right rear, and it would blow the motor. I mean, it was just so sensitive about how the damage worked, and trucks being so momentum based that any kind of aero damage would be a pretty detriment to your race. Is the 13 going to come down pit road here? Must have some damage or decide to come down and take his final set of tires. But 13 coming down pit road, Chuck. A little bit early, don't you think?
I don't know. I wonder if he's now I don't know the condition of his car, if he's got one too many wall scrapes, it just fills its time handling wise, or if he's maybe trying to pull some people with him.
Yeah, get those fresh tires early, but man, he's gonna have a long way to go here. 30 laps. Nobody has gone 30 laps on tires, so he's gonna have to ask a whole bunch out of these good years that nobody's had to ask just yet. So I don't expect to see too many people come down pit road, but it'd be a good way to undercut some folks down the line if he can really make up some ground.
And that's the thing too, you can have fun. He's not in the playoffs. He's not a playoff participant, so he could be, testing some strategy out for his own racecraft. He's got nothing to lose by doing it.
Yeah.
Just kind of do something different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just try something. You saw it. He almost clobbered the wall, so the tires were obviously giving him trouble. And so making that decision to come down pit road, get fresh tires so we can get back out there and start to throw down some really good laps. Got a nice battle here for second place. Travis Bieber, Daniel Cunningham. Daniel able to get around that 114 machine. The 14 versus the 114. Daniel Cunningham starting to come alive here later in this run.
He's another one just so consistent. And like I said, now tonight we've seen him up front all night, but other times, don't necessarily see him all the time. I'm not saying he's a back marker, but then last 5 or 10 laps, like, oh, there's Daniel. Just kind of, hello, here I am. Been here all night. You just didn't notice. You know what I mean?
That's right. No, I 100% know what you mean. Watching Michael Kostick come out of pit road, he comes down and make his stop. And here comes the 114 coming down to get 4 tires and fuel. You've got a lot of drivers. Andy Kurtz coming down as well. So pit road is wide open thanks to Garrett Kinder. I think everybody knew that they had to come on down. And look at that 24 Brandon Pollock. Looks like the old school days there, Chuck. Front end just completely gone. He's driving a modified out there.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking. I was like, how is that car still going? That looks like a Thunderstruck Wednesday night tour mod.
Well, it looks like he's able to get that fast repair, hanging on to it. Comes down pit road, and the boys in the thongs over there put on a quick front end, and that DuPont Chevrolet is back in action. So Brandon Pollock's got him a brand new car.
Well, I will say one thing about the fast repair there, Mr. Smith, is I'm not a fan of it because I'm a realist and this is supposed to be a simulator. They don't have fast repairs in real life. With that being said, when you have one and only one, it's another decision making. It's another strategy thing as well that is thrown into the sim race you do. I take it now or do I hold on to it? Or does it go green the rest of the race and then you say, man, I wish I would have taken it. So although I'm not a fan as far as the realism of it, having one fast repair throws another strategic decision into the driver's, toolbox there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. That's something to when to use it. It's always a big thing. You see Daniel Cunningham coming down. You see Steve McDonald down as well. So we're going to see who cycles where. Right now, Kieran Church is your leader as he has been out on 35 lap old tires in that 22 machine. So Kieran Church trying to stretch this thing. Hope for a caution. He gets a caution. I mean, there are only 5 cars on the lead lap, so if he can get that caution, that'd be really, really awesome. But looks like he's going to give that up, come down
we got
pit
a
road.
couple going around. And
oh, the 13. Garrett Kinder is around, and caution is out. So he was able to get that caution. Him, Bubba Wallace, or Brandon Wallace, Gavin Otarski, and Ty Cunningham are going to be able to get that caution as what happened there, Chuck?
It looked like initially, because my screen's bouncing around, I just saw Garrett spinning around. I'm going to need your assistance on checking it. But what I did see is poor Brandon Pollock. I feel bad for him. Just got it repaired, and he got into that as well.
Let's go back and check it out. Gavin Otarski looks like he got into the wall. Kinder Farmer Ranch Wreckage Rewind, and we'll watch it. Let's watch it from a different point of view. We'll watch it from Garrett Kinder's onboard as they're coming off the corner. You're going to see Gavin get into the wall a little bit, and just nowhere to go if you're the 13. He was already in the gas, and that thing was going to go around no matter what because he just runs right into him. And like you said, Brandon Pollock here.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
He
oh, my goodness.
I feel bad for him. In fact, I don't know if you have the time or want to. Might check Brandon's in-car just to see, like,
yeah, absolutely.
It looked like he try to check up. Is he going low? Is he going high? Where does he go? And he just took his fast repair, too.
Yeah.
So
just terrible.
What does he do,
Yeah, he really couldn't see the wreck because the 99 was right in front of him, so he couldn't really see what was happening and didn't know what Gavin was going to do here as he's going around.
And it's like, pow, oh, there's a wreck.
Yeah, just it's hard to say where that driver is going to go. So.
And I would not classify that as their proverbial term of arc braking. I mean, that was not Brandon's fault. He didn't arc brake anybody. He just, it's just nowhere for him to go. A product of racing. But I would not classify that as a quote unquote arc brake. I don't know if you would. I would
No,
not.
you could definitely tell he was on the break. So yeah, I don't think that is at all. If we look at Garrett Kinder's 13 machine, you can see a lot of stuff visible that shouldn't be. Brandon Pollock though, his car doesn't look too bad. So just a little scrape. I don't. As long as his stuff is good,
Yeah,
he was pretty woed up. So he may have dodged a bullet there, Chuck.
yeah. I'm gonna check. So when I go into I can't see it. So when you go to the cockpit view, I can't do it on my screen. Are the RPMs accurate? Can you see his RPMs if he's down on power? Is that accurate or not?
No, I won't be able to see that from the watch camera. You can kind of see his RPMs, but you're not able to see if he's down any RPMs. But
I got you.
yeah, so it looks like he's okay. He may have just gotten a little bump because he was pretty slowed down, just a little crinkle on the front end. But man, talking about the race though, with all that change, we're kind of talking about the wreck, but what it changed on the track is a lot because Kieran Church is going to be able to get the lead as he was coming down. We watched him coming down pit road as that wreck was happening. Ty Cunningham out there still on 28 lap old tires. That is probably a really bad decision, and he's missing his rear end. So I don't know if that's a great decision at all. He's going to get eat up pretty quick. But Bubba Wallace, or Brandon Wallace, able to also benefit from that as he's going to start third after that caution comes out. So it's working out good in in the favor of some of these guys as they were able to catch that caution at the right time. But yeah, it looks like Ty Cunningham is going to stay out on old tires. Man, Chuck, I don't know. He's got missing the rear end. What do you think about this call here?
I don't necessarily agree with it, or I mean, I'm trying to be politically correct. I don't agree with it. I think he should have gone down.
Well, everybody gonna just have to be careful, regardless of skill level. We're not even talking about skill level, just the straight up difference of the tire. You know, he's got 30
Yeah.
lap old tires, and these guys got brand new tires. So there's no doubt. It doesn't matter the speed difference whenever they go down into turn number one. I mean, he is going to be it's going to be tough. So,
Well,
but
and my point is, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
no,
Eddie.
no, pace car is off, getting ready to go green. So we're going to see what's going to happen here as everybody's lined up on the inside as they took the wave around. And Ty going to lead us down to the green flag, and green flag is out. You see he's not even really able to get the 46 through the gears. The 22 is going to have him going down into turn number one.
The reason I
You see
really
how
don't
quickly,
agree.
yeah, look right there, how quickly
Yeah.
those drivers are able to get around him. But he's doing a good job of giving them room. It's going to get bottled up here as I'll try to get you a better camera so we can see the whole dang thing. But yeah, oh, he's hitting in the wall. Travis Bieber going to get right behind him.
Low on the apron.
Woo! Getting close back here as he's falling through the field
Yeah.
quickly.
So far, so good though.
Yeah, everybody doing a fantastic job getting around him. Still quite a few drivers. Oh, the 13 gets into the 62. The 62 is going to.
Saving it. They saved it. They saved it.
What a save by the 62 as he gets tagged from the
Yeah.
13. 13 gets a little bit loose off the corner as that 13 is not driving good as he is really struggling. But up front, let's go back and catch these battles. Make sure we're not missing any battle for the lead. But so far, so good with Ty. So he is everybody able to get around him. Sorry, Chuck.
No, yeah, you're fine. The biggest reason I disagree with that call is because of the track we're at. Another track, a little bit wider, different geometry of the corners. Maybe it's worth the gamble or whatever. But this track, with the way Darlington is, even by itself, with yourself on the track, I just didn't agree with the call. But he didn't cause any wreck,
Yeah.
so good for him.
Yeah, and he's going to save that set of tires. So, you know,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
if it goes green for any amount of time, I mean, he may end up going a lap down. I mean, he's really, really off the pace. But if he gets a caution, and enough time has passed, then he may have some time to get back going. As we see Brett Bieber in the 808 get into the wall, it's going to open the door for Daniel Cunningham, who got caught from that yellow flag and is falling back to 6th place. Now gets back into the top 5. So a couple drivers getting caught with that caution and finds himself sort of in and the double zero gets into the wall. Todd Schott, who was a couple laps down, gets into the wall, and Travis Bieber takes a big hit. We stay green, though. That was, oh my goodness.
Did you see the wreck avoidance with Daniel Cunningham, though? He shot that car to the inside, got around, and I was afraid he was going to maybe do a self-inflicted spin just because of how abruptly he had to maneuver that car.
Well, we're on board in the picture with him as you watch. The double zero is going to get into the wall, and man, you're right. What amazing driving by the 14. Good grief.
That was great record.
Wow.
I know maybe from a different camera view, it looks maybe to the viewers like, okay, so it just went around him. No. When you saw that quick wheel input he had to put on that car, that could have very easily been a self-spin, avoiding that.
Yeah, I mean, he basically went 3 wide off of the corner at Darlington to make that happen. So, yeah, what a great move by Daniel Cunningham, and he's going to be able to hang on to 4th place because of it. So, near disaster for the 14, but, man, great driving by him to get that done.
Absolutely. And I don't know if you do move of the race or wreck avoidance of the race, but if so,
that would definitely be it, wouldn't it?
I mean, 100%. That wreck avoidance that he just displayed was, especially at this track, that was just well done, Daniel.
Matt Knights with a little bit of contact. Don't know what's going on there, but he is well off the pace, so he must have gotten into the wall a little bit. But right now, it's all Kieran Church as he is out front. He's got a 0.5 of a second lead over Brandon Wallace in second. Brandon Wallace, man, look at him doing a great job. We like to talk trash about Brandon Wallace, but man,
I told you.
That strategy, you did. Yeah, you did call it.
I told you, man, he's been that initial incident that I don't want to do a broadcast of curse, so I'll definitely get fired. But I watched him practice. I watched a lot of people practice. I was really impressed with how he wasn't trying to throw down hot laps or swing as as far as the leaderboard goes. He legitimately practiced corner entry. It was smooth, just took care of his car even during practice, just consistency. And I said at the beginning of the race, I didn't say for the whole playoffs, but for tonight's race, I told you might want to look out for old Bubba.
You definitely did. I mean, he's right behind Kieran Church. He's falling back just ever so slightly. But if Kieran Church makes a mistake, I mean, Brandon Wallace is there. Andy Kurtz is right behind him, but Andy Kurtz has got about 5 laps older tires, so it's going to be a little tougher for Andy to keep up, as 5 laps here at Darlington is a long time on a set of tires. So with only 6 laps to go, Brandon's in a pretty good spot, I have to admit.
It's about consistency, which obviously all the playoff drivers have been, or they wouldn't be in the playoffs, and I get that, but other than that little bit of oops earlier, he's ran a good, consistent race. Now, granted, that caution coming out definitely helped, but he was still consistent and just kept his nose relatively clean and just logging laps, and so far it's played in his favor.
Yeah. As we'll take a little comparison here between him and the leader, and we'll show you what the last laps look like between the two drivers. And last lap, Kieran Church just a little bit faster. Not much, though. Brandon Wallace keeping pace with him. He's about 0.8. Now, here in this situation, you gotta wonder if Brandon Wallace is going to be pushing a little bit hard, knowing that he has got a chance at a win here. Push it too hard, get to the wall. Does Kieran Church see him coming and push it a little bit hard as well? So Brandon actually made up a little bit of time. I think that last lap's going to be good. Brandon Wallace a 10th faster here with only 4 laps to go, or 3 laps to go, Chuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time on mine. I don't know
Kieran's
though.
got some lap
Brandon.
traffic. Oh, Brandon Wallace going to get to the wall. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Gets the wall off the corner, and he's going to lose a ton of time there as Kieran is going to be able to pull away a little bit after that. Now Andy Kurtz is starting to smell blood. Oh, just as soon as we were talking about him, Brandon gets in the wall. You see there, about
Well,
5 tenths slower.
I'll be fired now for doing the broadcasting curse. It's the viewers. Eddie, thanks for my 2 week broadcasting career, and I guess that'll be it for me, huh?
Well, and it looks like Brandon Wallace going to have to fight off the 5 as he gets into the wall, loses all that momentum. Andy Kurtz is right there trying to take advantage of it, get to that second position. But 2 laps to go for Kieran Church. Been mistake free, stayed out, got that track position, and was able to set sail. Drove all the way from the back. We'll show you the positions gained. And Andy Kurtz and Jonah tied right now for 13 spots gained, but Kieran Church as well with 11 has been on the move. But here they come off of turn 4. Kieran Church one more time around to win here in Darlington. Didn't think he was going to make the race, Chuck. We were worried, saying, well, he's going to have to win if he misses this race. Shows up at the last minute. A little bit of pit strategy. And as he goes through turns 1 and 2, he's got a 1.7 second lead over Bubba Wallace. And he goes down into 3 and 4. He could pretty much just coast to victory at this point. Kieran Church going to come off a turn 4, going to come from the back to the front and lock himself into the championship race. Kieran Church takes the win here at Darlington.
What an exciting race. Not gonna lie, I mean, I love racing, but this was fun to broadcast with you, and it was exciting from the initial drop of the green. I mean, now I see why you do this, Eddie. It's fun, and boy, it's exciting from this perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and these guys just, they always put on a good show. That's why I love to call it because they make it exciting, no doubt about it. So, um, yeah, just an amazing race. That pit strategy at the end, that caution that came out and got those guys kind of trapped a lap down, and that kind of changed everything about that race, didn't it, Chuck?
Absolutely did. And it just, I was impressed. Relatively few cautions. I mean, there were some close calls. Maybe another track, maybe iRacing would have thrown, but it's a product of this track. But I thought it was certainly exciting, like I said, but relatively few cautions for this venue. And it's not like it was only a 10-car field or anything. I mean, it was a good sized field, and everybody from the rear to the front have just raced their butts off all night long.
Yeah. Well, you got a job to do tonight, Chuck. So it's time. We got to give out the best paint of the night. Who you got?
Okay, well, again, not lip service. It was a very tough decision. So many good paint schemes, even non-throwbacks. A lot of guys just wonderful cars. It was tough. Can't give a trophy to everybody, but I got to go with the throwback Todd Shot 00, that Miller car. I just love the colors, the scheme. Um, one of the original drivers. It's a well-known car, and I love the gold rims and the number. It just that really caught my eye. I looked at every car multiple times, but I got to give it up for Todd Shot for that 00 tonight.
Well, there you
Beautiful.
have it. Todd Shot winning the Jeff Bott Jr. Art Best Paint of the Night in that Bobby Allison scheme. Definitely an iconic scheme, and he made it look good tonight. Got to the wall, tore it up just a little bit, but that's all right. Still a great night for him and a great scheme. So didn't win the race, but definitely won that one. I agree with you. It is a good looking scheme. Well, all right. Well, let's talk to some drivers. I want to talk to these final 3. We'll talk to Kieran Church and see what he thought about this race. and see what his thoughts are on that. Like that call at the end to be able to get that call, stay out a little bit later, and whatnot. So I'll take Kieran and Chuck, and if you want to get Brandon, and then we
I'll
can.
definitely take Brandon, man, for
Okay,
sure.
all right, we can tag team Andy if you want to. All right, well let's bring Kieran and Church up into the booth and see what he thought about this race. Kieran, there's Eddie and Chuck in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, Lord of mercy, you sound awful for somebody who just went out there and kicked their butts, drove from the back to the front, showed up late, didn't even hardly get any time on the track, and there at the end, talk about that call to stay out a little bit longer. Come as you were coming down pit road, the caution comes out and gives you the lead and get the win. So congratulations, but man, talk about your race.
Yeah, I'm actually racing with a pretty messed up knee right now, and I wasn't even going to try. And I was like, I'll just start park so I can get some points out of it. And so I showed up my first laps for the race. That's why I wanted the EOL to start in the back and not try to crash anybody. And then I just got comfortable with Darlington. I like Darlington, and next thing you know, I was catching the guys in third and fourth there for a second when the pits started happening. And I was hoping that maybe a slower car or somebody on new tires, with it being a loose on at the beginning, that somebody would spin and I'd catch a caution. So that's why I went 2 extra laps, and I said abort mission, and I would start at a pit, and I heard something come over comms and I turned right.
Well, turn right was the best decision that you made all night. You come out with Brandon Wallace behind you and Andy Kurtz on some older tires, and Brandon was running you down there for a minute. Were you nervous at all, or do you feel pretty confident just trying to save your tires there to the end?
No, I was pretty confident. One thing that I noticed that a lot of people, and I don't know if it's just the way I run, is I like the low line in 3 and 4, and a lot of people charge the corner a lot. So if when I'm not charging the corner, I'm saving tires. So that's what I was doing. And then he wasn't pushing too hard. And once he started getting sideways or pushing, I was still good to go. So
Well, able to get the win, hurt. I love to see that come out and push through the pain and get the win. So congratulations, man. Who you got to thank tonight?
I got to thank everybody that puts on this league here for the Grand National Series. It's turned into something pretty big once you open up the restrictions where you can get some more drivers in here. It's been fun. You for doing the broadcast, you do an amazing job, no matter if it's for Rebels or even in the ITZR last week. You did great. And then I got to thank my guys at SPM, Velocity Motorsports, and Jet Designs.
Well, there you have it. Your winner tonight, Kieran Church, punching your ticket into the final race of the year. That's got to feel pretty good, Kieran, to talk about that and how you feeling about trying to get this championship. That's your 5th win on the season, and all you got to do is win one more possibly.
Hell, I didn't even know it was a win in your in. I thought I still had 2 more races to battle through this, so I guess it's good. So get some time to make sure I'm good before that. But unfortunately, it's at Vegas, and I'm not the best at Vegas, so
Well,
I'll give her hell
Kieran,
and have fun.
Kieran, I want to say congratulations to you and for your win tonight. I am taking you off my hit list. All right, buddy.
Damn, I didn't even know I was on your hit list. So
Well, I
now it's a
told you
good thing
that
to
back
know I
in
made
Thunderstruck,
it.
truck, man. No, well done, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Chuck.
Yep.
Kieran Church, your winner tonight. Let's go and talk to Brandon Wallace. And I believe Chuck is down on pit road, getting caught up with him. Let's bring him up in here and go ahead, Chuck.
Brenda Bubba Wallace, peg leg. You got me?
I got you. Hey, I got 2 words for you. You're fired. Broadcaster curse.
No, 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 no. Eddie was talking at that time. I had done quit talking. However, with that being said, Eddie asked me pre-race. He says, "So who's your pick
No, I
for
heard.
the?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I watched you in practice. You were very consistent. There were other people, but I watched a lot of people, and I kept looking at yours and your corner entry through all the practice and throughout the night, except for the one, oops, a daisy.
Oh yeah.
Uh, well, you just kept it clean. Granted, that caution when it came out definitely helped, and I get that, but sometimes you need a little look, especially here at Darlington. But I do want to ask you when you got banged up there, I forget who initially banged up your rear end, but when you spun, it looked like to me and Eddie it was a little bit of a net code. But I was wondering if Brandon Pollock just took with the damaged rear end being so close to you, if your car as you were rotating through the apex, if it just took the air off, or if the dynamics of the car did it just not rotate? Did you when that spin that you had? That's what I've been wondering all race. Did it just snap on you, or was it a net code? I mean, did you feel a hit? Because to me, it looked like he was close enough with the damage that you had that it might have messed up the rotation as you were going through the apex. So
Yeah,
tell me,
it,
tell me about that incident.
it was a little bit of net code. Caustic and them were coming, and I was banged up from one of the other little incidents and had some damage, so I was just kind of nursing it a little bit, and so I kind of moved over for caustic and took a higher entry into 1 and 2, and was slow. I mean, it was just slower. And I was up against the wall, kind of off the gas, and Pollock came in there and said he'd hit the brakes, and it just didn't blow up. I didn't know it was net code at the time. I thought he just barely bumped me, but that was kind of all it took to send us around. And I actually did not want to see that caution flag come out because I was good on fuel to the end with that
Okay, I
20
got you.
to go. So I was everybody else was pitting, and I was like, okay, another fuel mileage one. Here we come, baby.
Well, and that's been a strategy tactic of yours. Well, as long as I've known you. So anyway, congratulations. Eddie did ask, and I said, well, I can't speak for the whole playoffs, but for tonight, my pick is actually Bubba, and I'm not going to say he was surprised at my pick, but
Oh, he
I,
was. He was giggling at you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
heard him.
but I had you as a pick to be up there, and I called it. But anyway, great run, well done, sir. Who do you have to thank, and who do you want to give shout outs to?
Well, I want to give a shout out to you, the special guest up there, and I'm glad Eddie got you up there. I listened to the race while I was driving, so it kind of makes it double entertaining because I'm hearing you guys talk about us and Eddie giggle at me, which is normal for Eddie giggling at me. Uh, you guys did a great job. It's a great broadcast. It's a great race. All the drivers that showed up. Of course, the whole admin team, Duty Shoot, Jonah, and those guys, everybody, for putting on that series. We had a good turnout tonight for a playoff race. Fantastic racing. Not many cautions, a little banging, beating around, and of course, everybody over Original Rebel Racing. Everybody in the league is awesome, and couldn't do it without everybody there.
Well, there you have it. Brandon Wallace, your second place finisher. Well, let's talk to our third place finisher, who Andy Kurtz, not able to get around Brandon Wallace. So close, but was up front all race long after he drove through the field. Andy Kurtz is Eddie in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, man? Gotcha.
Man, what a fun race, fun track. I know you love this track and pretty much any car that you run, and you're able to really work your way through the field. I believe at some point you were the biggest mover, and you are the biggest mover. So you're going to be our Hard Charger Award winner by by Dark Horse Motorsports. So congratulations on that, and congratulations on third place. What was it like out there? What were you struggling with? And you were able to get up there and get the lead, and then that caution just came out and caught some people at some bad spots.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, definitely ton of fun starting in the back and, and racing with everyone. So it was Darlington's a crazy place, and it's tough to pass, and just trying to survive, racing around who you're racing. So it's tough just driving the track by itself, let alone trying to run double file. So a lot of fun going up through the field, and got a pretty timely caution after I got up pretty far that bunched us back together. Travis and them were up; they were out pretty far ahead, so it needed a caution to kind of reel them back in, and then had fun racing with them. And then, yeah, like you said, that second caution came out at a bad time. So saw it happen in my mirror and knew that it would not be good. So yeah, I tried my best on that last run. Kieran and Brandon ran pretty much a perfect 15, 20 laps there, whatever it was. So I was trying my hardest, a couple laps older tires than them, but they definitely did a heck of a job and earned those podiums. So congrats to them.
Well, all right. Well, that's all I got, and just want to say congratulations to third place. And as always, man, the floor is yours. Who you got to thank?
Thanks, man. Yeah, just thank you as always doing the broadcast. And yeah, everyone putting this on. Jeff By Jr. Art, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Flexible Freight Solutions, Dark Horse Motorsports, No Next Fast Pair, and Chuck.
Well, there you have it. Andy Kurtz, third place finisher. And we'll go through the results here real quick as we're getting ready to finish up the post-race show. The top three, Daniel Cunningham comes home in fourth. Jonah Colbert recovers and gets that top five. Michael Kostick in sixth. Brett Bieber in seventh. Travis Bieber in eighth. Chris Reese in ninth. 10th was Matt Knights. Garrett Kinder in 11th. 12th, Stephen McDonald. Ty Cunningham in 13th. Todd Schott, 14th. Brandon Pollock, 15th. Gavin Otarski, 16th. Tyler Rice, 17th. 18th, Jimmy Cofield. And Kyle Roberts in 19th. Well, we got to give out the hard luck of the race, Chuck. Who you got for the hard luck? There was a couple guys that had some tough deals there. Who you got for the hard luck of the race?
I'm gonna have to throw that one back on you. I mean, there were some. With the big such an aggressive race, and I don't want that to be misinterpreted as dirty or belligerent racing. It was good, hardcore, aggressive racing, which I did not expect. But as a result of that, there are some people that have some hard luck, and I honestly really can't put my finger on one over another. I know that's the easy way out, but as soon as I pick one person, I could be like, oh, but then there's this person. So I'm gonna have to throw that one back at you, Eddie.
All right. Well, I'm going to give it to Garrett Kinder, who was on the move, was doing really well, and just kind of had nowhere to go when I believe Todd Schott got him to the wall. So just tough night for him. So he is going to be the No Neck Fast Repair Hard Luck Award winner. So fortunately, not the congratulations that you want, not an award that you want to win, but it happens. It happens in sim racing. Well, Chuck, it was a fantastic race. Enjoyed calling it with you. Looking forward to more weeks of this. What are your takeaways after tonight? I think that we saw, and you touched on it already, had some really good racing side by side, but Darlington's just a different animal. You got to work the track. You gotta focus on driving it versus driving each other. And we saw some folks just have issues on the exit of the corners. That pretty much was where all the issues came from. But all in all, it was a really good race. The caution at the end kind of threw a wrench at everything, made it exciting. But Kieran Church able to get the win. What were your thoughts? Any closing thoughts?
No, just a small re-emphasis on that. And actually, Andy said it in his interview. It's kind of been a common theme all night. Priority at this track has to be race the track first and foremost. Obviously, track awareness of who's around you physically on the track, but you gotta hit your marks more here than a lot of other places, and you gotta race the track first because this track alone will kick your butt, and then actually it sounds counterintuitive to worry about people you're racing with and for points. This baby, she'll eat you up and spit you out, and I think that's kind of been the common theme all night. We heard it from drivers. You spoke about it. I spoke about it, and the drivers spoke about it. This track, you got to race the track first and foremost.
Yeah. And as far as points go tonight, I mean, Kieran Church going to lock himself into the Final Four, which is a great thing to do on the first race of the round of playoffs. Brandon Wallace with a great points night, so he's going to really separate himself. Daniel Cunningham with that fourth place finish as well. Then it is a pretty big gulf back to eighth place. Travis Bieber, who was up front all night long, and just got caught in some different things and just couldn't get back at the end. Needed more laps. I'm sure he could have got back up there. But he finishes in 8th. Chris Reese in 9th. Steve McDonald in 12th. Those drivers are going to be behind the 8 ball as they go forward. But the beautiful thing is if you win, you're in. And so all you got to do is go out next week and win. And should be able to get it done. But, man, Chuck, it was a lot of fun calling the race. We got the ARCA series coming up. So ARCA at Dover, man, kind of wish I was out there running that one, as that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So,
I'm in session now practicing, so hopefully we'll put on a good show for you.
yeah, I know y'all will. Dover is going to be just like Darlington, going to have to really get those runs off the corner and be smart about where you make passes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, anyway, thanks to all the people watching, and hope y'all enjoyed it. And we will see y'all in just a few minutes as we hit the ARCA series. But that's the Grand National Series here at Darlington. We'll see
Thanks
you
for having me, Eddie.
yeah, just see you in just a few minutes.